Hi peeps, welcome back to another edition of Elizabeth Taylor Memorabilia. Great to see you again. Hope you've been enjoying going back to some of the history. We've done a few videos over the last 12 months. I can't believe I'm still digging out some little treasures out of my Elizabeth Taylor Memorabilia box to showcase to you. During my correspondence with Elizabeth, as most of you probably will know from watching some of my other videos, correspondence from Elizabeth usually arrived on a Friday for some reason. Every week, or not every week, but every month, every couple of months, when there was correspondence to come back to me, it always landed in the letterbox on a Friday. Now Elizabeth Taylor's been has gone to heaven and has been there for the last 10 years or so, but believe it or not, certain things associated with her still arrive in my letterbox on a Friday. Last Friday, I got this amazing disc that I'm going to share with you today with some unheard interviews from Elizabeth Taylor talking about the filming of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So, how exciting, and I can't wait to share it with you, so stick around, and it is a wonderful behind the scenes interview done with Elizabeth and Richard for the promotion of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in 1966.
This is Kenneth Banghart with the McCall's exclusive. Edward Albee's controversial stage hit, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, soon to be released as a Hollywood film, casts Elizabeth Taylor as a woman described by her husband in the picture as someone who slashes away at everything in sight, scarring up half the world in the process. In a behind-the-scenes interview with McCall's writer Roy Newquist, Miss Taylor sketched a very different portrait of the character. The full interview serves as the basis of an article in the June issue of McCall's, but you're invited now to listen in on part of it as Miss Taylor tells about her initial reaction to the script.
Well, when I first read the script, I was absolutely terrified. I thought that I was not the right casting, that I was too young, and I hope, I trust that I'm unlike Martha myself. So I meant completely shedding Elizabeth Taylor, Elizabeth Burton. It meant that I could not delve into any kind of well of my own emotions or experiences, that I had to create a totally different being, and I didn't know whether I could. I was scared. And Richard read it then, and he said, well, you're not right for it, but I want you to do it because I don't want any other actress to do it. It's too good a part. And the more I started thinking about it, it's so brilliantly written, the play, and I think it's one of the most challenging, exciting, and demanding woman's role in many years. I just put it that way because I don't really like any of the other playwrights in the last 25 years. But it's the most exciting role I've worked for a long time.
Newquist later asked Miss Taylor how she felt about what she'd done with the part once the film was begun.
For an actor or an actress to be pleased with oneself, it's a great danger. If you are pleased with yourself, then you settle back and you become sluggish, and then you stop creating and you sit back on tricks. And this is certainly not a role which you can do that because it's forever changing. Just the physical fact of the progression of drunkenness. She starts out tiddly, and during the course of the play she has 21 or 22 straight gins, and there's a sobering up point. Then it's like a doctor's chart. It goes up and it goes down. So you can never feel sure or that you have absolutely found it because it's a forever changing role. No two scenes are alike. It takes place in one evening, but it's like that evening is a whole lifetime.
Newquist also asked Miss Taylor to sum up her feelings about the talents of the picture's director, Mike Nichols.
I've never seen any of Mike's production. Yeah, but I know Mike. I know his capabilities as an inventive man. I knew that he would have to be a great director. He's one of the most brilliant, sensitive, creative gentlemen that I've ever met. Just in his own self. Of course, the reports that I've heard from people that I respect greatly about his directing didn't come as a surprise to me. I knew that if he applied himself, and if that's what he wanted to be, that he could only be superb.
What sort of preparation, emotional and otherwise, did Miss Taylor make before taking on such a role?
It's a matter of concentration. I read the script over several times. I think about it all the time. I very rarely discuss it. It's an inward process that works itself on me, probably even when I'm asleep. And then things begin to happen. They begin to happen even when you do wardrobe tests.
Newquist asked Miss Taylor to sketch her own portrait of the character of Martha.
Well, Martha is so complex a person. She's vulgar, gross, coarse, cruel, and as soft as an unborn bird underneath it all. Which makes her so particularly quick to be cruel. Her defensive mechanism has been going on for so long. I don't think Martha really knows what she is. And it's easier for her to be loud than it is for her to show her vulnerability. Because she doesn't want to be heard.
Next came the question whether or not she would rate the character the most difficult she ever played.
Well, it should be. But I've never enjoyed doing the role more. And in a sense, it's, for me, I think because it's a character part, in a way it's the easiest. Because I have totally divorced myself from Martha. So when I'm doing Martha, I completely forget anything else I've ever done, or ever was, or ever will be. It's, I don't know, like almost a split personality thing. And it was difficult in the beginning because I didn't know whether I was going overboard or underboard, and all the things that I tried to find for myself, like the voice, the walk, the slouch, the accent, the laughter, the vulnerability, the covering up. It was dicey in the beginning, but it's much easier now because I can turn Martha on. I mean, I can become Martha much quicker. I don't know whether it's going to work or not, mind you. I'm not saying it's working, but it feels good. It might look lousy, but it feels good. And it's awful to say, but I think it's the easiest part I've ever played. It's very difficult playing yourself, and Martha is so remote from me. There's nothing I call upon myself to use in Martha. It's all a whole new being.
The voice you just heard was that of Elizabeth Taylor. Miss Taylor is summing up her future plans as an actress.
No, I'm at the moment sort of playing it by ear. I don't know when I'll retire, but I'm not going to go on indefinitely. There will be the day when I will retire. I haven't made up my mind when it will be. I can't say that I'm going to do 4 films more or 1 film more. I don't know yet. I don't know if I will do a stage play. I'm sort of playing it by ear. Whatever I do has a lot to do with what Richard is doing. If he does a film in Tibet on location, then of course I won't work because we stay together. If he's doing a film in London and there's a script that I like, that I could do in London at the same time, preferably at the same studio, then I might do it. But it's all predicated on what Richard is doing. Then I make my plans around that. That's why I have to be played by ear.
Here Miss Taylor tries to capture for Newquist her feelings about married life with Richard Burton.
Well, there's no way of capitalizing the, it would be like trying to describe a sunset. You cannot. I mean, it's ever-changing, but it's beautiful. In so many of it, it's too private to pinpoint. There are too many numerous aspects. It's too large to make a cliche of it. I don't know. I can't explain, except that it's the most wonderful thing that's ever happened to me. And it is every day. Each day is better than the last day. But I can't tell you for what specific reasons.
Newquist then asked if she ran into any problems in having the psychological conflicts of the film extend over into her private life.
Oh no. When we first started working and doing the rehearsals and shooting, I couldn't take off the Martha gag. I took her home and I astounded friends. You know, I'd go out for dinner and all of a sudden I'd think, "Christ, will you shut up? I'm talking." And then I kind of look inside and to myself and said, "Who was that?" And so like the next morning Richard would say, "Do you know what you said to so-and-so last night?" And I really sort of pale and blanch. But now, you know, I can leave her behind at the studio. But she's a difficult lady to live with.
The voice you just heard was that of Elizabeth Taylor, recorded on the set of what's likely to be one of the most talked about pictures of the year, the film version of Edward Albee's stage play, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Afraid of Virginia.
It's easy to talk about Warner Brothers' new motion picture, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? It's hard to tell about it. Easy to talk about. All you have to say is Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton.
Who's afraid of Virginia?
He's the associate professor of history. She's his wife. The essence of Ivy League charm to students and friends who don't know them well. George Siegel, Sandy Dennis are the newcomers led by their charming host and hostess to the hell that hides behind those ivy-clad university walls.
Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? Early in the morning. Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? Virginia Woolf, Virginia Woolf. Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Edward Albee wrote the play, the most acclaimed work by this controversial author. Ernest Lehman wrote the screenplay. He did the same for West Side Story and Sound of Music. Mike Nichols directs. His unbroken series of theatrical triumphs have given him a position without peer or rival. All you have to say is Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, George Siegel, Sandy Dennis, Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. After that, all you can say is incredible.
So there you have it, peeps. Some wonderful words from Elizabeth Taylor at the time of filming Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and referring to Martha as going to, or you know, she's going to work dressed up in drag. She's going to be Martha on the set, and the funny stories around going in drag as Martha to parties after the filming and creating a bit of fun there for everybody. So great stuff. Great to share that with you again today. And don't forget to like, subscribe and all that jazz. And you know what? I can't wait to see you again in the next edition of Elizabeth Taylor Memorabilia.